responsible for someone else's actions. You believe that you are responsible for someone else's actions. By the way, this was in regards to chat policing. This was in place for community policing, saying that a streamer is in control of their chat and a streamer is in control of their community, and they should dictate what that chat and community should do. So if you believe a streamer is in charge of their chat, randoms on the internet, why the fuck do you think you're not responsible for taking care of one of your best friends in a weakened state around alcohol that you know is his vice, a suffering alcoholic in a public, on-display format in front of hundreds of thousands of people? Ludwig, if you had a fucking spy, you would understand that you fucked up bringing Mango into that situation. You need to wake the up. Because if you are going to say that a streamer is in charge of their chat, yes, the streamer host should be fucking taking care of the people in their community. Ludwig, you invited a known alcoholic of 10 years to an alcohol-abusing festival, and you cheered for this. So here, you cheered for an alcoholic blowing a .32. You need to see this, okay? The legal limit in America is a .08. Ludwig, he was 4 times over that in the .3 to .4 zone of alcohol poisoning and loss of consciousness. Once he got to a .32, you say, and I quote, let's get those numbers up. At .4, he was at .32. At .4, it is potentially fatal, risk of coma and death. At .3, you have alcohol poisoning, loss of consciousness, altered mood, reduced reaction time, slurred speech, slowed thinking, nausea, vomiting, loss of balance. This isn't drama, Ludwig. This is you putting streamers' lives at risk for content. He blacked the fuck out. Even his tweets show he has no idea what the fuck happened. He doesn't even remember the night's events. He doesn't even remember doing anything. He was that fucked up, and you encouraged that. Now, some people are saying that he got to a .37 later in the party. I cannot verify that. I cannot find the clip, so I don't want to weigh in on that. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to go in on what people are accusing you of. I am only going to talk about what is in front of me. And you putting someone else's life at risk is not good, especially someone who you consider one of your best friends. And here's the worst thing, Ludwig. You can't act like you didn't fucking know. And the reason why you can't act that way is because multiple streamers warned you to not fucking invite him.
Mango was saying that shit earlier.
Mango's been practicing drinking beer for a long time.
Okay, Mango is like an alcoholic. Mango can drink 30 beers.
You said, and I quote, Mango is alcoholic. Should I invite an alcoholic to a beer drinking party? Is it okay for a recovering alcoholic to drink? For some recovering alcoholics, the safe course remains complete abstention, avoiding not just the chemical, but also the psychological triggers associated with alcohol consumption. Well, there we go. That's what Google thinks. Yeah, Ludwig, we shouldn't invite a fucking alcoholic with a known alcohol issue to a beer drinking party. You invited this person personally. And it's like, dude, I literally feel like I'm talking to a child right now. Like, I hate how in big 2025, you're 29 years old. We're pretty much the same age. I'm 31. Now, according to the internet, I'm dead in the dirt, and you still got 1 year left to live. Because once you're 30, then you're fucking dead. That's just how the fucking world works. This is the thing that I don't understand when people tell me, oh, well, now you're covering politics. I'm not covering politics, guys. I'm covering common fucking sense. I don't know how someone is this bitter at me due to the fact that I said, hey, man, don't invite your recovering alcoholic buddy to a beer drinking party. Encourage him at a .25 to drink more. Encourage him at a .32 to drink more, getting him to a near fatal level of alcoholism. And then, when he does things he doesn't remember, then you throw him underneath the bus. Guys, is now permanently banned on Twitch. He's been removed from C9, which he was like one of the original members. As well as, there was one other thing, and now he's banned from all future Ludwig events, meaning after the severe hit in his career, there is no way for him to have a bounce back.
And as the saying he does off no beers. He's a machine of a
He
man.
said he had 7 beers already today.
If you ask him how many beers he's had lifetime, it's probably above 10,000. He's the champion.
Valkyrie says, and I quote, "And when someone looks at you like this, with a concerned look like this, isn't this event enabling him?" What did you respond with?
Two-time champion. He's never lost.
You completely skirt the question and you say, well, he's the 2-time champion. Yeah, I would imagine an alcoholic is the champion of an alcohol party. Yes. Now let's keep going here. Now maybe you didn't know what his actions were. Maybe you didn't see him getting crazy. Maybe you didn't see him going over the edge. Maybe you didn't see a weird part of him being unlocked and party on 4K on thousands of people's streams. Maybe you just didn't see it. And this is why you're reacting this way after the fact. Oh, let's watch this clip real quick. His eyes are glazed over. His speech is slurred. He's in an environment where his shirts are off because you thought of a great idea that it should be shirts versus skims. He's immediately trying to touch women. You push him away. He comes closer. You know he's being weird. It's right in front of you. You know he's being weird. He's still being fucking weird. You push him away again. You then try to block him off from extra Evelyn. You know very well that he is completely far gone. You know very well he's being weird as fuck. You know very well he's smacking on bitches' heads. You know he's gone. You know he's blazed. You know he's over the limit. What you should have done, and it's very obvious, and I hate saying this, and you're the one who said that you should be responsible for your own video. If you did not say that, this video would not be being made. I would say, okay, Ludwig doesn't give a fuck. Clearly, you were trying to give the illusion that you give a fuck. Hassan saying, and I quote, Ludwig calculates the most friendly, non-offensive takes of all time. Well, in this non-offensive take where you said that everybody was responsible for the Twitch chat community, you need to be responsible for what happens at your parties. You know he was being weird. You chose to keep him on the stream because he's the 2-time champion. You need him for content. You need him for views. You needed to make this event epic. And you know he was being weird as shit. You couldn't have just said, hey man, you're too fucked up. Called him an Uber and got him out of there. You kept him live on this shit. You know he was being weird the entire fucking time. And his life is now completely fucking ruined. Now obviously I know there's some things that happened with your dad. I'm not going to bring those up. There's a lot of people who want me to bring those up. And you know what I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say it. Because I don't feel like crossing that boundary. But if anybody should know the effect of alcoholism, it should be you. You should know damn well how bad that is. And it's a shame, rather than showing any remorse, you say, fuck Mango, he's never invited, he fucked up by himself, nobody else played into it. You set bro up for disaster. And you know you did. You took an alcoholic, you brought it to your party, you were warned to not do this. You were questioned, hey, is this enabling him? Your other friend said, hey, the amount of alcohol he's drinking is very dangerous, we should stop. You say, no, we need to get those numbers up. You get it to a 0.32, blackout levels of alcoholism. He acts weird, you see him being weird, you don't step in, you don't remove him, you let him continue when he doesn't know what's going on, and now his life is ruined forever. You could have apologized, you could have maybe helped him get into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, though judging by your actions, you most likely would bring a kegger to an Alcohol Anonymous meeting. You set him up to fail, you ruined his life is in shambles, And while I agree Mango did fuck up, and I absolutely agree, he is responsible for his own actions. You are responsible for bringing your friend into this incredibly dangerous environment. You are. And you can be upset at me. And the reality is, though, if you are upset at me, you want to know why that is? Because you're not actually upset at me. You're upset at yourself. You know I have not misconstrued anything. You know I don't have an agenda against you. I have no pre-existing hatred for you whatsoever. In fact, I've been told by a lot of my friends, old friends, that I should hate you, and I don't. But I think displaying this level of childishness and this lack of any empathy or support or caring for your friends is disgusting. And I hate this world of streaming that we live in, where we're willing to throw anybody under the bus if it means saving our own skin. You couldn't even take a little bit of bad PR to ease it up on him even a little bit. You said, nah, fuck him. It's all his fault. I can't believe he did that. You said, oh man, disgusting. I don't condone that. Oh, pathetic. Not me. You couldn't have said, man, I feel horrible. Mango was my friend. I knew he was struggling with alcoholism, but I invited him anyways. I was warned, I didn't listen. People warned me again, I didn't listen. I fed into his weakness, I fed into his vices, and he fucked up, and I hate the fact that I put him in that position. You didn't say that. You couldn't take any heat off of that. You let him fry and die by himself, and now his life is over. And once again, am I a big C9 Mango fan? No, I don't even know the guy. I know he plays Smash. Maybe I watched a couple clips. Is he one of the guys in the Wombo combo clip? I don't fucking know. I'm just calling it.
Well, that did not take long. President Trump threatening to walk away from trade talks with Canada, and then, boom, shakalaka, Ottawa, point. Canada has now scrapped its controversial digital services tax, a cash grab that would have shaken down American technology giants with millions of dollars in penalties. The president says the time for pleasantries is over.
Canada is a very tough country to deal with, I will say. But you said, I love Canada. You have USMCA in place. I know, but you'll have to deal with it. USMCA is no good when they cheat. What does that mean? Well, there's been things going on that we don't like, and things going on where they took advantage, and hopefully we'll be fine with Canada. I love Canada. Frankly, Canada should be the 51st state.
Wall Street likened what it sees from the White House. Stocks jumping to new highs. The S&P and NASDAQ on pace for the second straight day of record closes. So on Friday, when we read the
how did I miss that?
The spat in Canada about the digital services tax, I actually.
Did you roll your eyes at me, Dave?
No. But after the fact, I was very unmoved by what Canada was doing, because I knew instinctively we could count in hours how long it would take for them to reverse course.
Yeah, blink and you miss it. They blinked and they missed it. And this is interesting. I'm actually curious if how the EU is thinking about this as well, because they've been targeting our big tech companies as well as part of their sort of tariff retaliation strategy. So look, Dagan, I think it's key that they have rolled that back. I think that's smart for negotiations. It allows us to really come forward with full faith. There's no reason why how do I say this? We're the most innovative entrepreneurship economy. The fact that Canada gets to benefit from our big tech companies doesn't mean they get to do a 3% tax. If they want to do that, they should invent some of the cool companies on their own. But guess what? They're not. We are. We're inventing these awesome tech companies that everyone else gets to benefit from. And also quickly, with these markets, Dagan, I will say, pretty astonishing. I think I read a note, we're up 28% from the April 7, April 8 bottom. That's incredible. And June really never sees record highs. You get them towards the left. You get some January and a lot December in the back half. So the fact that you're starting to seem to, I think this market's really optimistic about some of these other trade deals coming down.
I think, and also based on the fact that so many people have missed this bounce in this second quarter and even this month alone. They've spent so much time navel gazing at the Fed, saying, oh, what's the Fed going to do? Forget about it. Get in there, make your money work, and some people have done that, and they've done very, very well. But there's still a ton of money on the sidelines that needs to go to work, and it's for the trade deals. I always thought Canadians were supposed to be the nicest people in the world. But apparently not when it comes to dealing. But they caved today, and that's the right decision.
Big Papa took out his stick. Okay. We knew this was going to happen on Friday. Sometimes the children like to push back a little and test the boundaries and see what they could get away with. But I knew they were not getting away with this. Nobody at this table thought they were going to get away with it, and sure enough, they dropped it. President Trump, in his amazing interview with Maria Bartiromo, had a lot of sound bites, including ones on Canada. At one point,
What's
he
up,
said,
Emma
Canada relies
Grace?
entirely on the United States. We don't rely on Canada. And he went on to give examples of situations where they're charging our farmers substantial amounts to bring goods into the country. And so at the end of the day, I don't even know what they were thinking to impose this tax law negotiation was happening. I guess they just wanted to see if they could get away with it, and it didn't fly. But they are going to have to work out these issues because it's an important trading relationship for us, for sure. I think the president recognizes that. But he's made it clear, nobody's walking all over us anymore. And why I'm really shocked is because he has so much wind at his back right now, whether it was NATO, whether it was an operation in the Middle East until his nuclear facility, whether it's the economy, whether it's the big beautiful bill, which looks like it's on its way. This is not the time to mess with him.
I just want to say and answer the question about are Canadians nice? Yes, they are. I am married to one. I know for sure that they're nice, and maybe that's the problem. They backed up like that. But mostly because their economy our economy is 15 times the size of their economy. We dominate them in almost every way. Everything from culturally, the music they're listening to, the TV shows they're watching. So it's no surprise here in Canada.
I'm doing good. Do you want to play some Mario Kart?
EU does the same thing. But I just want to say, here's the deal. Here's the bottom line here. 78% of the goods Canada produces get sold in the U.S. We are their audience, their end market for so much of what they make. Whether it's oil or autos, they need us more than we need them.
We need everybody to be buyers of our treasury stock. And there's one thing, and Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent gave an interview this morning, and he was talking about, and I know, Secretary Bessent thinks that the 10-year yield is too high at the moment, and he's not going to increase issuance at the long end at these levels. This is critically important because yields and what people pay to borrow and what the United States pays to borrow directly impacts the valuation.
Well, I've been streaming quite a bit. Do you want to play Mario Kart? Because I'm not going to buy your graphics.
And the vast majority of that, or most of it, is on the short end. And so this is something that we're going to have to watch over the next year. And Secretary Bessent, he was talking about even before he was sworn in about right-sizing the maturity schedule. But even now, he's still saying that the 10-year rate is still too high. However, I would note that Stephen Conroy writes today that despite our stunning evisceration of Iran's nuclear ambitions and the President brokered of a redoubled commitment by NATO, the dollar and the U.S. Treasury have received, quote, zero ostensible benefit from that.
Yeah.
So they should have gotten more than that. It shows the pressure that the dollar and our debt could be bringing.
I read an interesting note, David, and I did this for you, because when we talked about the dollar and treasuries that hold environmental, American exceptionalism is over, sell America, go abroad. one note I read this morning said there has certainly been an allocation to international athletes, but that's because there's such a big decline in global benchmarks for U.S. given how much we come down, that's natural. But the conclusion was we do not find any evidence to support the narrative that foreign investors have been allocating away from U.S. stocks, more than just reallocating normally if they have to their benchmark. So I love Scott Bessent.
Oh.
He's obviously one of the smartest people in the room. He's also out there saying that, you know, we're the only country in the world where our 10-year yield is lower now than it was in January. Everyone else, their 10-year yield is higher than where it was a few months ago. So certainly that's been something on his mind.
It's interesting. We're talking to Scott Bessent. Have you noticed how he's kind of trying to follow up behind the president? The president says, we're going to get all these trade deals done within the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. Very good. They're all going to come to the table. And Scott Bessent is like, yeah, maybe. I think we'll get the ball rolling in many cases, but I don't think we're going to get an actual deal done and signed within that time frame. But it'll be interesting, just to get back to these trade deals, is that within the next 2 to 4 weeks, we could get 10 to 12 countries. If we could get India, who's had a team negotiating at the White House for a while, if we could get a major one under our belt or more, that would be excellent. China's still hanging out there. We have somewhat of a truce, I think, right now, which is fine, because that's going to take some time, but we need that.
Happy birthday, son! Here is the Switch 2 I promised you. And you can have it as soon as I make sure that you're not making the biggest mistake of your life. You see, there are a ton of amazing handheld gaming devices these days, and I think you should at least try them before making your decision. And the question will be, are you going to stick with Nintendo's latest, or are you going to take the plunge into the big boy pool? Like, because some of the PC competitors are really big, not because adults can't enjoy Mario Kart. So here's the deal. You're going to try 8 different gaming handhelds today. And if you like one of them more than you like the Switch 2, you can take that home instead. But there's a catch. Should you choose something other than the Switch 2, I'm not buying you a Switch 2. Just like I'm not going to buy you the Segway. Correspond? Sale. Make sure you stay connected on your next vacation or work trip with Sally's eSIM plans. Available in over 200 destinations, you can get 15% off the plan by clicking our link and using code LTT at checkout.
The reason I'm excited for the Switch 2 is like a brand new console, and it's really the only console I know about. The new Mario Kart sounds pretty fun. Also the upgraded versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The backwards compatibility is important because even though Mario Kart World might be better than Mario Kart 8, I might still want to play something else. If I'm going to see my cousins and I'm bringing a handheld, battery life would be kind of important, but I can also just bring a charger and charge it while I'm playing. So it's not a deal breaker, for sure. Will we get to try 8 consoles in an hour and decide between anything?
Yes. Let's start with the 800-pound gorilla, the Steam Deck. While it might not be the most powerful of our choices today, there is a reason it is the most popular. SteamOS is slick as heck, not to mention just plain more efficient than Windows. And Valve's understanding of gaming shines through in every aspect of its design. Its only drawback is that it has a limited game library. But that's only compared to Windows handhelds. Compared to Big Red, the Steam Deck's game library is expansive, not to mention way more affordable, because you can play most of the games that you can play on Steam. We've got a couple of games preloaded, but the most important one is probably Split Fiction, not because I think it'll be your favorite game ever, but because it is cross-platform and available on all of our systems. Any initial impressions?
This mouse pad is so cool.
Yeah, the dual trackpads on this thing, actually very cool. You can use them for mouse aiming with some practice, and they have haptic feedback, as you've noticed already. They also have momentum, so you can kind of throw them, and you'll feel them vibrate. They're very configurable. And if you want to play something like a strategy game on the go, they're useful for that as well.
It's very big.
Yes. Is that a problem?
Depends if I'm traveling somewhere and my suitcase is full.
In terms of the ergonomic advantages, a lot of people really like that about the Steam Deck, but come on. it's not as packable as something like a Switch.
The D-pad's kind of small. It's hard to individually choose one round and go diagonal.
I don't think it's a size issue, but no, the Steam Deck's D-pad is not known to be amazing. Do you want to play around with SteamOS at all?
SteamOS? What's SteamOS?
SteamOS is the operating system that Valve developed for the Steam Deck that only basically runs Steam.
Okay, sure.
You can use it in desktop mode with other applications, but it's actually Linux-based. It is not Windows or Nintendo. It is their own thing. So you've got the Steam button here, which allows you to access all of Steam. And this little three dots here gives you access to all of your system settings.
That's very quick and useful.
It is
like
way better than the implementation on Windows handhelds. It also gives the Steam Deck excellent efficiency if you're running lighter games like David Diver, and it will instantly suspend and resume like something like a Nintendo, rather than taking a while to boot up like Windows. There are drawbacks though. It's one of the least performant out of all the handhelds we're going to look at today, and the screen, honestly not amazing by today's standards. Of course, there is another. Meet the Steam Deck OLED.
Is this the same as that one?
Well, not quite. The difference is right in the name. It's a Steam Deck, but with an OLED display, and it is beautiful. 1000 nits peak brightness, perfect blacks, HDR. They've done an outstanding job with this thing.
If this is the same as the other Steam Deck, but it just has a better screen, is it just better?
Yes, it's also a little faster.
Okay.
And to show off just how much performance is on tap here, we actually loaded up Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a Nintendo exclusive game, in an emulator, so you could try it and see what the experience is like. I would tap it. Realistically, I don't think it's going to be much laggier than the Switch 1, but it's not going to hold a candle to the Switch 2. However, what do you think of the display?
It's very bright. It's a lot better than the one. It gets really laggy when I hit it for a second.
Yeah. But the battery life is even better than the original Steam Deck. Okay, why don't we move? If more performance is what you're after, this may be your poison.
This is the same thing you have, so if I wanted to use one, I could just ask you to borrow it.
Okay, that's hacking. Hacking is not allowed. Back to the script. You may be familiar with this one. It's the one I use at home. Obviously, he's familiar with it, but for the rest of you, the main draw of the ROG Ally is the inclusion of AMD's Z1 Extreme processor, a chip that is so much more powerful than the Steam Deck that it easily overcomes any of Windows' inefficiencies. Well, as long as we ignore battery life in later games, and ignore the kind of sludgy general experience of navigating Windows on a handheld device. Microsoft has some work to do. By the way, this and all of the devices that we've got today are going to be linked in the video description. This one, the story for the screen is a bit more complicated. It's 1080p, so higher resolution compared to the Steam Deck, but it's not OLED. But it can do up to 120 Hz. So, for supported games, it'll be smooth, kind of like your monitor at home. Oh, also, the interface for changing things, right there. So you can adjust your brightness, change your performance mode. You won't get much battery life out of the higher performance modes, but hey, it's really fast.
Okay, let's try turning.
You're gonna get like an hour of battery life if you're lucky in that much. Yeah.
48 minutes.
48 minutes?
Yeah, on that battery mode, yeah. You don't know
Oh, now it's so slow.
What if I told you there was an Ally, but with better battery life?
That would be cool.
Okay, let's have a look. Here you go. Brace yourself, she's heavier. Not by that much though, when you consider that it went from a 40 watt-hour battery to an 80 watt-hour battery. They literally doubled the capacity of the battery, which results in at least 2 hours of battery life, even in the higher performance modes, and as much as a lot more hours.
Is this one just the same as the other one with high battery life?
In general, yes. We actually made a small mistake on the RAM speed. So they increased the speed of the memory from 6,400 megatransfers per second to 7,500 megatransfers per second, which does make it a bit faster. It also has a little bit more memory, but in general, it's same, but better.
This one's way smoother and higher FPS than the other one we played definitely.
Yes.
It's also in the highest mode though, so I don't know.
But what's nice about this is that it has such a big battery that you can actually run it in the highest power mode for an amount of time.
Seems like it's lagging a bit right now.
I don't know, you tell me, you're playing.
It does a little bit.
Emulation is not going to be perfect unless you have an extremely powerful system. And this is a fast handheld. It's not an extremely powerful system, even so. Okay, but why?
I don't know. I was just trying to hit something. I didn't really...
What did you think an explosive barrel was going to do? Yet more proof as if you needed it, that no matter how good your gear is, it's not going to get you a better danger. Now, there are some things about the Ally X that aren't great. It still has the same display as the original Ally, which is fine, and it's significantly more expensive, but given you're not paying for your system, I guess that's a non-factor for you. Where does this rank for you?
Probably at the very top.
What if I told you that you could have the performance of this with the removable controllers of the Switch?
That would be even better.
Let's have a look. This time for real, she is a chunky boy.
That's very heavy compared to all the other ones.
The benefit is this is the biggest screen we've seen yet. 8.8 inches and the highest resolution. It does 1440p up to 144 hertz. Small drawback. Remember the battery life issues of the first-gen Ally?
Yeah.
Basically.
How long would it last for its highest performance mode?
A little.
Okay. What do all of these buttons on the back do?
Oh, well, those are paddles. So you can bind them to any functions that you want. In fact, a lot of the ones we've looked at so far do have real paddles. One of them, yes, slides off the controllers. There we go. And this is cool. That's a pretty cool use case, right?
That's awesome.
Especially because it's so heavy you wouldn't want to hold with it. Why don't you fire up Accumulator?
The buttons are really small compared to some of the other ones though.
It's not my favorite controller, but one nice thing is that on at least one side of it, it does have a trackpad.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's why I'm here, for the tech tips. Papa Tech Tips. At this point, seeing all the options that are out there, are you a little less confident that you want to switch to your real? Or are you still pretty confident?
Little bit. These are all very cool and fast, and a lot better than I expected for such a small device.
This is just a gorgeous game that even a few short years ago, you would have needed a full-size gaming PC to run, and it runs on this. Of course, you won't always be able to just put it down on something, so you should try it now.
Okay.
How does it feel?
It's very heavy. If I was to hold this for half an hour, if my arms would get pretty tired.
It does have another party trick. Check this out. FPS mode. That becomes a mouse. But that's something. That's their overlay. So you can see your performance and you can change your modes and all that.
This menu's laggy when the game is.
Okay, that's fair. I would like to change gears completely and go from our heaviest device to our lightest one.
Can I get a longer time trying every single one of them before deciding?
No.
Do I actually have to decide today?
Yeah, but you thought I was like giving you a different answer on camera than...
I don't know. I'm choosing a console.
Yeah. Meet the PlayStation Portal. This is not actually a console, but the combo deal here is on offer because the price of a PS Portal and a PlayStation 5 actually less than some of the handheld PCs that we've looked at today.
The joystick's not in a very comfortable position.
That's PlayStation style. You do get used to it, but yes, it is not my preference either. The symmetrical joystick position versus the asymmetrical Xbox style. I'm also not a huge fan of their D-pad style, but they do have advantages in their controller, and one is that their haptics are excellent. Also, this is, compared to anything else we're looking at today, the most powerful gaming solution. It's only 1080p, but it is a locked 60 FPS with absolutely gorgeous levels of detail.
Doing good, at least.
Yeah. The solution in a way that I'll explain in a little bit. But why don't you give it a shot first?
Which one is A and which one's B?
You want to play Mario Kart?
Not really a PlayStation house. Never saw PlayStation. Do any of your friends have PlayStations?
No, you guys.
Oh, okay. Have you ever used it? No. Okay, well, it doesn't have AB.
Well, which one confirms and which one doesn't?
Can't remember.
Okay.
Look at the visual fidelity there. Okay, you haven't actually tried the Switch 2 yet, but
And here it is. Like, look at the detail.
Do you want to play it?
Comparison. Another great thing about the Portal is Sony's amazing game library. But here's the thing. While this has the best battery life, also, out of anything that we've tested, the reason is that there's no game console. It is streaming wirelessly from that PlayStation over there, which means
You need a PlayStation?
yes, not only do you need a PlayStation, but you need an active internet connection to your PlayStation. And the closer you are to your PlayStation, the better the experience, and the farther you are from your PlayStation, the worse the experience in terms of especially.
Damn, I can rewind this far?
That would be really annoying then, because bringing a PlayStation
No
somewhere
way.
is pretty hard.
You can play from elsewhere, but the farther you are, the worse the experience. Why
That
don't
was
we start looking
sick.
back to consoles that are actually consoles rather than streaming devices? These are our last two. We've got the Neo 3, which unfortunately didn't perform as well as we hoped, but has an OLED screen and this super cool modular interface where you can actually swap this around depending on what games you're playing in, whether you want to be able to reach a D-pad or a joystick more easily, and same here for the AVXY. We've also got the MSI Claw, an unexpected standout. This ended up being the best performing PC handheld in our roundup thanks to some recent driver tweaks from Intel.
The fans are pretty loud for this one.
Yeah, you haven't even fired anything up yet. Let's see next. Oh, do you want to try the modular interface?
Yeah.
There we go. One click pop up. That's pretty cool. No. Now, is it
It's
in the
pretty cool.
configuration You'd prefer?
Yeah.
It's a lot like Mario Kart 8, but
Those fans are pretty loud.
They really are. Oh yeah, trackpads were cool.
I like these maps better than
There's a
the
joystick
new
in
maps
Xbox,
on
so you
8.
wouldn't be stuck with the trackpad if you didn't want it.
I'm trying to find
Sorry, now the fans are on
these
problem, right?
question mark blocks.
Yeah, but I would never play through this loud.
Okay, fine. Why don't we try the claw?
Does this one have a higher refresh rate than the other ones?
It's
Do you
not
want to
higher than
play?
all the other ones,
Oh, there's a
but
question mark.
it's 120 hertz, which is at the high end, and because it performs so well, you are actually getting more benefit out of that higher refresh rate display.
This is very smooth.
It's a lot of performance. It's a chunky package, but you get a big 8-inch display and reasonable fan noise. In terms of battery life, it's between the Ally and the Ally X, but closer to the Ally X, like an hour 30 in even very high performance profile.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty good, but what it isn't as good as is the Switch 2. Are you ready to try the Switch 2?
Yeah, I want to see how it compares to these.
Still in the mix is the RG Ally X, the Legion Go, and the Claw. What do you like best and least about each of them?
Okay, this one, I like the fast refresh rate and the big screen.
So the performance, essentially.
Yeah,
because
performance.
all of these...
Yeah,
120 hertz
not
processors.
buying any of your art.
But
That's all
this is
Twitch
not
is. It's
performance
full of these
thing.
fucking
But yeah,
scammers,
This
dude.
one was, I like the fastest, not as heavy as the...
Just say you're a scammer.
you don't get as big of a screen, but it's significantly more total.
And this one, I like the detachable Joy-Cons in this little mouse pad and the big screen.
But this is a funny thing. Even though the Switch 2, this is now your first time
I'm
holding
not
it,
adding you
right?
on Discord.
Even though the Switch 2 is so slim compared to these, the same thickness as the original Switch and the Switch OLED, its screen is among the largest that we've seen at 7.9 inches.
I mean,
So smaller than the Legion Go, but just shy of
leave me
it.
the fuck alone, bro.
It also has a 120 hertz display, and it supports HDR, just like the Steam Deck OLED. Yeah, why don't you fire up Breath of the Wild? Because that's the game that you've been playing in the others.
Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Yes. For an extra 15 Canadian dollars, you can upgrade Breath of the Wild to look better and run better.
Does it get any other bonus features?
I think so, but like, nothing that's a huge deal. You get another save slot, I think, or something? I don't know. The big ones are that it's prettier and that runs better.
I like that it's a lot bigger than the Switch, other Switch.
Yeah. It's especially nice when you remove the Joy-Cons and you're using them in Joy-Con controller mode. I think it's actually kind of usable. Also, this is sick. The Joy-Cons are magnetic now.
Oh,
So you just...
wow. That's nice.
Do you want to hear any drawbacks yet, or do you just want to enjoy it first?
Just enjoy it first.
Okay. That's fair. That's valid.
Obviously, the interface is what you're familiar with, so if you want to adjust the brightness or volume or anything, well, hold it. Yeah, sure. No, what? You don't know about the... Go back in the camera. Hold it.
I didn't know you could do that on the other one.
Oh, it's not an OLED, but it is an HDR display, and it is pretty gorgeous for my limited time with this.
Everything's way brighter and clearer than the other one.
Sure is. Not only do games run at a higher frame rate, but the screen is a higher resolution compared to the original Switch as well.
Do these Joy-Cons have as much drift as the Switch One?
We don't know yet. They might be okay, but they're not hollow, so they might not be okay. Yeah, all of our Joy-Cons drift really down.
This seems way better than the other one. It's way better than the other Switch. The quality's higher, the refresh rate's higher. The sound is so much better. That's so cool. Okay, these ones are so good. They're like actually the right size for my hands. And then they get it. It's so smooth. It's so much brighter, cleaner, faster than this one.
Well, yeah. And this is even the OLED.
And it's,
so this has the benefit of having arguably the better display, but Nintendo didn't put in the work to implement HDR on this. So this is probably going to look better day to day. But the frame rate blows. Yeah, so you can really see the color saturation on the OLED, but you get the peak brightness from HDR. If they do a switch to OLED, which they almost certainly will at some point, you will get the best of both worlds, but that doesn't exist yet, and I'm not promising to buy you one of those. So,
okay.
Oh yeah, Mario
let's play Mario Kart. Oh, these are actually big. On the Switch One, these are tiny. They're so hard to press.
Huge improvement. Doing 12. This is terrible.
There's an airplane?
Dude, and there's like wave runners and stuff too. It's pretty sick. There's another curveball.
What?
Asus and Microsoft have partnered up, allegedly, on the Ally 2, turning it into an Xbox-branded console. We expect that it will be everything the Ally X is, but better, and with integration with Xbox and Game Pass.
So then should I view this one out?
Why don't we have a look through this together, okay?
Employees just tell the world what secrets are being made.
I think I have sheltered him. Was it already going to be hard enough without any more curveballs?
Yeah.
Are you ready to eliminate anything from the table?
How will I get all of them?
What? No.
Okay, I'll put this one back.
Why'd you put that one back?
I put it back because it's really heavy and tie my arms quick.
That's fair.
That one also has a worse battery life than this one.
Yes. These two have better battery life than that. This is the most performant with less battery life, and this is the best battery life out of the PC controls.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the Ally 2. Kind of like an Ally X, but you can see it has more like a controller style grip. We also expect that if the specs are what they are supposed to be, it will probably have the best performance out of all the PC handhelds, and probably the best battery. But we don't know exactly how much.
Could some of these just not be true, and they're just lying?
That is possible, but don't ask me how I know. They're true.
When is it going to come?
I'm flying to see it tomorrow morning.
Okay, so should I just not get anything and get that?
You have to choose something. You walk out of here today with something. With a choice.
Do I actually have to choose right now?
Yeah, that's life. Well, no, that's not life. That's content. Here's our options. Big moment. Switch to Ally X, Claw, or roll the dice on an Ally 2.
How many new games are coming out for Switch 2?
Lots. It looks like game developer support is going to be extremely strong. Plus, of course, there's the back catalog of Switch games. It is backwards compatible, and you can count on Nintendo for this banger after banger.
I'll pick the Switch 2 then.
You pick the Switch 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ultimately chose the Switch 2 because of how many big games are supposed to come out for it, and that I can still play my Switch 1 games on the Switch 2 if I want. I do have a desktop, and I can already play Steam games, but if I didn't have one, I would probably choose one of the PCs to get access to all of those.
The games are really expensive, over $100 Canadian each, like for a single game. Do I have to pay for the games? Unless it's a game that I want to play. Does it have any games that you want? It has Mario Kart World. You can play your existing Switch games.
$100. Okay, sure.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thanks.
And happy birthday to our sponsor.
What?
Rocket Money. How much do you think you are spending on subscriptions? Chances are it's more than you realize, especially if there's one from a couple months ago you forgot to cancel. But wait, don't need to do that yet. Why not let Rocket Money do the heavy lifting for you? Think about it. No more.
Soundtrack to this game is sick. Glitch Goddess, what's up? Shit was fire. Went on the lake. Do you want to play Mario Kart? You want to play Mario Kart? So do you want to play? Perfect, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, but I could just add you a Mario. Because I don't need any artwork right now.
Good morning, sleepyheads. Look at this view. It is day 19 of visiting all 50 states in 50 days. Last night we slept in a 60-foot tall lookout tower in the mountains of northern Georgia. This is definitely the most beautiful wake up we've had so far in this adventure. We're basically in a glass house, and we just got to watch the sunrise over these beautiful trees. That's so nice. Today we are heading to a new state and a new Airbnb. The adventure continues, but first, morning routine? First, I walk over to the bathroom. I notice a moth on the window. It looks so cool and wise. I don't know anything about moths, or really about insects at all. I brush my teeth. I wonder if anyone is going to accept the bounty to shave my beard. I walk back to the main room, make some coffee. I run a mile to keep my run streak in every state going, and enjoy the sunrise. It is beautiful here. And now we're on the roof of the tower. Good morning, Haley.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
For those who didn't watch yesterday, we had to park our minivan, take a Jeep across the river, and drive a mile of rolling hills to get to this tower. We forgot the trophy in the minivan.
Forgetting trophies on me, guys.
But that doesn't change anything. We still need to update our coolest house ranking. Yes, Haley and I are going to all 50 states, but we're also trying to find the coolest Airbnb in America. We're staying in cool Airbnbs in every state, and that's why we're here. You think you have a good answer?
Oh, it's getting so hard every time.
On three, okay? 1, 2, 3, 3.
3.
8.
Wow. Let me see that list again. I love the top 3. You're replacing the Utah Star Wars flag.
Think about how unique this experience is. We got to drive a Jeep that wasn't ours through a river to a secluded location that has the most beautiful views.
It was really, really cool, but the Star Wars
Where are you going to meet me, Haley? If you're telling me they can Florida container home is cooler.
Yeah, I like it. If you want to make it above the container house, we can do that.
After much deliberating, we met at 4. Now we need to use the lift to bring our luggage down 60 feet. Before we can even talk about getting to New York State, we need to get back to our minivan. We have to take this Jeep about a mile from here, through a river, and get back to our Kia. Courtney, don't worry, we're coming. And Haley, the next state that we're going to, any guesses?
Tennessee.
No. I'm just kidding, no, it is Tennessee. The next state that we're going to, Haley, is Tennessee. We are staying in such a pretty part of Tennessee. Have you ever heard of Pigeon Forge? Really? Oh, remember when I went to Dollywood? It's that area. It's so pretty. We're staying in a really cool Airbnb. I don't even really know how to describe it. Just know it's awesome. And they have a washer and dryer. Haley and I are stinky. We haven't washed our clothes since Mississippi. That was 6 states ago. This is my last clean outfit.
I will be commenting on the state of my clothes.
With all that being said, it is only a little bit over 3 hours to the next Airbnb. But we're leaving early because I want to spend time in the town, Pigeon Forge. It looks so cool. Maybe we get some lunch or something. Haley, you ready to board a river? Bingo. Okay, I cannot believe it.
Safely made it back to the Kia. Before we transfer our luggage, I need to ride electric this morning and tonight to make up for yesterday. Basically, every time I ride electric, we unlock a $10,000 donation. Didn't do it yesterday because it was in the Kia. There was a river. Long story. But Levi from Electric said I could just do it twice today. So let's do it. Here's the river. Looks so cool. Back in the Kia. And we're off to Tennessee. Hey there. What kind of coffees do you guys have? Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me ask my wife if she wants anything.
Want to go to the gas station?
Yeah. We're gonna thank you. We're gonna have. Guys, we've been driving for hours, and let me tell you, there hasn't been a single highway. Honestly, if we had to spin the wheel of doom last night and it landed on detour, it would have been about the same as we're doing right now. No highways allowed. Yeah, we're already doing that.
It has one of those beautiful nights there.
Tennessee, Smoky Mountains, it's gorgeous. I cannot believe it's so pretty here. I did get car sick a couple times, but that's just natural whenever you've got the windy roads.
And I never see this man car sick, even when he is working on his laptop. Those are things unusual.
We woke up early this morning specifically so we could spend more time in this town called Pigeon Forge. I came here before because I was going to different theme parks for another video, and I went to Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, and I just remember, wow, this is the cutest town. Hopefully I get to go with Haley someday. And now, here we are, we're going. So we're gonna explore a little bit, grab some lunch, do a new state unlocked at some point. It's gonna be a good day. And I'll reveal to you the Airbnb listing later.
I can't wait because this drive has been making me excited to see where we're staying.
Next stop, Pigeon Forge. Where are we? I don't know. This town is so cool because it just feels like a big amusement park. There's a castle with wizard hats. Everywhere you look, it's like entertainment. We made it to Pigeon Forge. We found this cute little diner called Mel's Diner. Looks like a good spot to grab a bite to eat. But before we do that, we made it to Tennessee. You know what that means. New state unlocked. Oh my God, we love progress. Now I just gotta bring the wheel of doom into
That was a hard
Mel's
one.
Diner. It's about a 10-minute wait at Mel's Diner. Can't wait. If I can, I will. Well, I'll be. Our table's ready. All right. Thank you.
How are you today? Good. My name's Jenny. I'll be taking care of you. How about drinks for you?
Care of it.
You want Diet Pepsi, okay?
I'm going to say that.
Pepsi, there is.
Our food has arrived at Mel's Diner. I got the grilled chicken with french fries, toast, and applesauce. Haley got grilled chicken sandwich with french fries. This is really fun. What do you think about Pigeon Forge so far?
It's very festive, very friendly, and very cool.
Now's probably a good time to reveal to you the Airbnb that we're going to. If you look up this area on Airbnb, the first house that pops up is the one that we're going to. The listing title is Belltop, Architectural Wonder on Private Mountain. It has an amazing rating. This house is definitely one of the most unique ones that we will have stayed in thus far. It looks so fun. It looks beautiful. And I think you're going to freak out when you see these photos. It is literally on top of a hill, so the views of the Smoky Mountains are unreal.
I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
There's like a yoga room, another projector. I love those. Have you seen the shower? It's like an entire room. This looks sick. That view is crazy. This is like a mix of Treehouse and Frank Lloyd Wright.
So excited for this next Airbnb, but we can't check in for the next 2 hours. Man, bummer we're not in one of the coolest towns I've ever been in my life. We'll just have a fun time in Pigeon Forge until then. First on the agenda, Wax Museum. Let's go.
Oh, Ryan. Ryan. I think the Wheel of Doom's on.
What?
I think the Wheel of Doom is lit on.
Oh my god. Okay. Guys, let's go over there. Our Wax Museum adventure has been abruptly cut short by the Wheel of Doom. How's it going, guys? Sorry. Hey. Some fellow Wax Museum goers there. Apparently John Cena's in there. Apparently Mr. Beast is in there. It's going to be a good time if we get to go inside. Before we spin the Wheel of Doom, we're going to check who donated. No way. T-Mobile donated $100,000. I can't believe it. Before I reveal what they selected from the Wheel of Doom, I'm going to read their comment. Hey Ryan, we love an epic adventure, and on a trip like this, we know staying connected matters. Whether you're on the highway or out in the wild, our network has the most advanced 5G, the most towers, and our signal reaches farther than ever. And now T-Satellite provides you with an extra layer of coverage to keep you connected when you're off the beaten path. It's super easy to use and connects automatically, no app, no extra gear. Sign up at T-Mobile.com/satellite and enjoy the journey. That is so cool. I cannot believe it. Thank you so much, T-Mobile. What a donor. I can't believe it. That's crazy. T-Satellite. Sounds amazing. I love it. Starlink has saved us so many times where I need to upload footage or if we need to get GPS to know our route. It is such a game changer. If you have cell phone service and satellite, you're good to go anywhere. Now it's time to see what you selected. T-Mobile's $100,000 donation means they get to select what happens from the Wheel of Doom, and they have selected. I can't believe I'm about to say this. T-Mobile has selected.
Oh.
T-Mobile, you have no idea what you just did. We're not trying to overplay it when we say how much this Wheel of Doom stresses us out. So now we have the T-Mobile Golden Ticket, which gives us 24 hours of immunity, and we can activate it at any point. If we have a long road trip, and we know for a fact that if we land on reverse card or detour, we're gonna fail. Now we have immunity in our back.
My deepest gratitude to T-Mobile. I've been with T-Mobile for since I got a phone, honestly.
Well, where were we? Wax Museum.
Let's see which celebrities I'm calling then. This is Brad Pitt.
Yes! No way. I had no idea he was going to be here. This is really how tall he is. He's about to count festivals.
Well, his teeth are exact.
His teeth are perfect. The sexy Mr. Beast was selfie with himself. Next stop, ice cream! And last but not least, Joyride Run at Kroger. New store unlocked, getting some snacks and such for the Airbnb. There it is. Let's go. Joyride Run in Tennessee. Here we are. Joyride Gummy Worms. Goated. If you guys don't know, Kroger is one of the biggest grocery stores in America. And as of today, you can only get the sour gummy worms at Kroger. Shout out to all the Joyride runners getting Joyride. Boom, 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 boom. You guys are amazing, and if you have a Kroger nearby, be sure to go get Joyride there. We'll be putting Kroger Joyride runners in the videos. Snack for later secure. We also picked up some more snacks and beverages for the Airbnb. I think we're just going to stay there tonight once we get there, thinking about making sandwiches for dinner. So let's check out and let's get to our Airbnb.
I think we found turkeys on the way to the Airbnb. Hey guys, they're taking us. They're escorting us to the Airbnb. All right, you guys show us the way, guys. Show us the way. We are driving up a huge hill, and I think that means we have arrived to the Airbnb.
Oh, looks like there's a storm coming, baby.
Or hooray.
That was pretty solid. I like it. We made it to the Belltop, one of the coolest Airbnbs in Tennessee. We drove up a massive hill, and we made it. But we didn't get stuck this time. 2 states in a row would have been bad.
I do not breathe going up these hills.
But we made it. It is so cool. This house is unreal. I can't wait to go to the top and see the view, but I think the inside is also very cool. You ready?
So pretty.
Let's get it. For those of you saying, Ryan really walks in acting like he's seen it for the first time after he put the tripod up in the house. Well, this time I recorded my process. This is awesome. Let's explore. First things first, you walk in this big, beautiful, open room. It's gorgeous. The air conditioning vents are in the floor, and the windows are actually floor to ceiling. It feels like you're standing outside. It does. The sections of this big room include kitchen. We making sandwiches here tonight? Okay. Got it. Living room with epic fireplace. I've never seen a fireplace like this. There's a piano, too. I've been practicing. I got a feeling. There's also a projector and a screen here, too. Yeah, we're watching Survivor tonight, for sure. On the other side of the kitchen is a game room, as well as laundry machines. We are so stinky, this is a blessing. On the outside, there's a seating area with a grill.
Dancing on the string.
Here's my text thread with my dad today, by the way. If you go through this hallway from the big open room, you'll arrive to the main bedroom. I love it. It's so cool. W bedroom. It's like a studio apartment. And finally, if you go up and up and up these stairs, you make it to the top deck viewing area. And I'd say this is definitely the coolest part of the Airbnb. Oh my goodness. Now this is a view. Look at that town in the distance. The Smoky Mountains. Doesn't get better than this. This is so nice.
I want to see a bear.
Whoa.
For the safety of my glass.
Yes. Seeing a bear is kind of on a bucket list, but not. They are scary, but so cool.
You like that?
I don't think they just emote like that. We are watching a storm. This is so cool. The storm is coming. These gusts are crazy. We're on top of the world. The rain has now reached our mountaintop. It's actually really nice. It's really pretty and relaxing. There's a few things I wanted to do in all 50 states to be able to say, hey, I did that in all 50 states. One of them was get Joyride in all 50 states. I failed in Oklahoma, so I'll have to revisit Oklahoma at some point. Hey, Treetopia is currently #1 for coolest house in America. Might have to go back there to put the trophy on a shelf. Then I find Joyride. But the one streak that I still have going strong for all 18 states we've been to is I've ran. So yes, it's raining right now, but I want to run in Tennessee. Let's run a mile in the rain.
And still let you
Never hurt nobody.
This is a kid's game.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Going downhill. It's a very steep hill. There's no side. Oh, it's got to be fun. Look how steep this hill is. I'm going down there. Holy moly. You things are motivating me right now to keep this going strong. The first one is Haley's always doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. She's working out as we speak, and her consistency is inspiring. The other thing that's motivating me is some guy DM'd me saying if I can run a sub 5:30 mile during the series, he'll donate $10,000 to St. Jude. And I'm like, are you serious? So frankly, I don't know if I can do it in all these conditions. Like I'm running on a mountain right now. However, I think I'll have a few states where it's possible, so I'm training. You gotta keep going. Going uphill now. I have a feeling this isn't gonna be under 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Hey, 44. Not bad. Jammy time. Jammy time has been canceled due to unforeseen events. I'm just kidding. We're just washing my pajamas right now. They're in the wash.
Some people are still participating.
Haley's pajamas have already been washed. I didn't mean to say that it's been canceled and like belittle your jammy time session. I did not mean to do that, and I apologize.
Some people prepare so far in advance to be able to do Jammy time, and I showed up.
You showed up and I didn't, and that's the difference between us tonight in Tennessee.
But we are going to be having a very complicated dinner.
In showbiz, they call this one the Turkey Swiss Mayo Deluxe Sandwich with a bit of popcorn and Joyride.
That's what I've heard everyone referring to it as.
You probably haven't heard of it because it's mostly in showbiz in Tennessee. We got the projector out, we have Survivor on the big screen. Doesn't get much better than this.
It really doesn't. I am loving the projectors. This one is inside, still love it.
The rain has subsided. There's a beautiful sunset outside. You can see some of the sun. This is sunlight. It's so gorgeous out there. I could get used to this. I feel like this is one of the Airbnbs where I'm like, can we stay?
Mm-hmm.
But we can't. We must continue. So we have to soak it up before we leave to our next state tomorrow. I love everything about this house. Sammy time is about to be completed. We've got our Sammys, we've got our popcorn and fun drinks. We've got Joyride for afterwards. Gummy worms are still your favorite?
Mm-hmm. Sleeper, Joyride candy.
Only at Kroger, that's why. We don't even have Kroger in Austin.
I know. I have to get them from you because you're the candy man.
Let's see. Almost ate it, but I recovered quickly. That's the electric promise.
This was the tree trunk you went over.
My biggest op of 2025 is a freaking tree stroke came out of nowhere. You guys gotta watch out for there's a firefly everywhere. I'm not scared of that. I'm not scared of much. Before we check donations, I'm expecting a really big jump because T-Mobile donated $100,000 today, made a selection on the Wheel of Doom, and gave us a golden ticket. Just a reminder of the rules of the golden ticket. We now have it and we can activate it at any point. It lasts for 24 hours and gives us immunity from any Wheel of Doom activations. Let's say Mr. Beast donates $50,000 and activates the Wheel of Doom again. We can't play our golden ticket in response to that. It has to be before a Wheel of Doom even gets activated. Meaning, if we play our golden ticket and nothing happens for 24 hours, no Wheel of Doom activations, we just wasted it. So we're going to have to be very strategic about how we play it. But bottom line is, thank you so much, T-Mobile. You have no idea what you just did for Haley and I. We got a big confidence boost from that. Let's check the new donation total, and let's see who donated today. Yesterday, we were at $1,294,399 raised for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Oh my gosh. $1,433,729 raised. And that's a new fundraising record for our channel. Wow. Electric e-bikes donated $20,000 today. They made up for yesterday. Thank you, Levi, for letting me ride the bike twice today. That's crazy. Seeing 20,000 in one day makes me realize how much it adds up.
I was just gonna say that.
And they did leave a comment. It says, must be running track because they don't stop, with the runner emoji. It's actually pretty valid. It's a good point. We actually are stopping.
We're not, but I never ran track.
We love our top donor, Electric. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. It's unbelievable. Ascend's free debt calculator donated $5,432.10 and said, like St. Jude, Ascend's goal is to provide 100% free help through our debt calculators to blast away debt stress. We love the impact Haley and you are making. Loved Oklahoma Treehouse. Will Brian Mayhem join the trip? Justin and Hinton. And they put their website there as well. Thank you so much, Ascend. That is so generous. I love the mission. Before we say goodnight, I just have to say that today is a really big milestone for me and for this channel and for this series. When I did the Penny series in 2022, we raised $1.4 million for Feeding America. And genuinely, I thought that would be the greatest thing I've ever been a part of in my YouTube career. I gave everything I had to that project. Every fiber of my being. I have the shoes that I wore during the Pin series displayed on my shelf in my room because they're just such a symbol of pouring so much into one project and the outcome being worth it. And I think I realized how special it is to use your platform to try to make a difference. And the biggest thing, just realizing that without you guys, I'm nothing. I can't just do this sort of thing by myself. And this 50 state series is no different. For years, I've always wanted to do this with Haley, but about a year ago, I had the idea to do 50 daily vlogs and 50 states in 50 days with her. And just for different reasons, St. Jude was on my heart to do the fundraiser for. And every night for the past year, if I'm like falling asleep or something, I'll just come up with an idea of how to make this series a little bit better, and I'll go and write it down on my phone. I'll think of the Wheel of Doom penalty. I would think of what kind of music I want to use, and I would think of what kind of thumbnails to make. And truly, for the past year, I just poured everything I possibly can into this project. Zach and Cohen are literally working all day long to make these videos as good as they can possibly be. So much work for me and my team has gone into this project, and I just never could have imagined that we would surpass our last fundraiser. It's just really cool when you care so much about something and you see it resonate with people and you see it make an impact. I think the craziest part is that it is only day 19. I don't know what else to say beyond just thank you so much for supporting this project. Thank you, Haley, for coming with me. Off camera, we just keep saying how lucky we feel to be doing this and how grateful we are to go to these places. I just could not do this without you. This means the world that we get to do it together.
I'm just honored to be part of this, to be honest.
All that being said, it is only day 19 of 50, which means that this is just the beginning, and the potential for this series is so much bigger than we ever thought. So let's keep going. Tomorrow we go to a new state, a new Airbnb, and tomorrow's day 20.
I'm excited for that milestone.
Such a milestone. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for supporting. Good night. Good night.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Galeotti, and I'm the head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. This is allowed as a gift. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system.
See, this is what I've been waiting on for a while.
We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
Holy shit.
In a takedown this large, I can't possibly describe all of the work that went into dismantling the scheme, but there are 4 key points that bear emphasizing.
Okay, let's get it.
First, let me be clear about what these healthcare fraud schemes mean for every hardworking American family.
Well, it's more money you gotta pay on your insurance, it's more tax money, it's more everything, yeah.
These criminals didn't just steal someone else's money. They stole it from you.
Yeah.
Every fraudulent claim, every fake billing, every kickback scheme represents money taken directly from the pockets of American taxpayers who fund these essential programs through their hard work and sacrifice.
That's right.
And when criminals defraud these programs, they're not just committing theft. They're driving up our national deficit and threatening
$37 trillion, by the way,
the long-term viability of healthcare for seniors, disabled Americans, and our most vulnerable citizens. This enforcement action involves the seizure of cash, as well as luxury vehicles and properties, returning real money to American taxpayers and to our government healthcare programs. Second, we are seeing a disturbing trend of transnational criminal organizations engaging in increasingly sophisticated and complex criminal schemes that defraud the American healthcare system.
we have to figure out a way to create a disincentive for these people that is extreme enough to where they will be afraid to do this. Because I feel like the problem is that a lot of people with like a lot of these white collar crimes, they don't really get any, like nothing really ever happens to them, right? And so because nothing ever really happens to them, they just keep doing it. No one's scared to do fraud? Well, I'm not saying necessarily death penalty, right? I mean, I'm not saying not. I'm just saying, yeah, do something.
As part of this takedown, we've identified and charged defendants operating from Russia, Eastern Europe, Pakistan, and other foreign countries.
Yep.
These individuals have infiltrated our healthcare system to steal American taxpayer dollars.
Yep.
As just one example, we dismantled a scheme involving a sophisticated operation run from Russia and Eastern Europe that strategically bought dozens of medical supply companies in the United States and submitted more than $10 billion in fraudulent healthcare claims to Medicare. To make matters worse, these perpetrators used the stolen identities of more than 1 million Americans.
This is one of the really big components that a lot of people don't understand as a second order effect of a lot of crime and especially illegal immigration, is that identity fraud and identity theft is one of the prime drivers for a lot of identity fraud and identity theft is illegal migration and these types of systems.
Spanning all 50 states to perpetrate this scheme and submit these false claims.
That's it.
I'm pleased to report that federal agents intercepted and arrested key members of that organization at U.S. airports and the U.S.-Mexico border, cutting off their intended escape routes. The days of transnational criminal organizations using the American healthcare programs as their personal piggy bank are over.
Thank you, Al.
Third, this takedown resulted in criminal charges against 74 defendants, including medical professionals who fueled America's deadly opioid crisis.
In my opinion, if you are coordinating with foreign interests and foreign people in order to defraud your government. I think that's treason. I do. I think that's treason. And why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Why not? Why can't we have a little bit of fun? Why are we not able to have fun anymore? I'm just saying.
For personal profit. These are not isolated instances of poor judgment. These are calculated schemes designed to exploit Americans struggling with addiction while enriching the very people who were duty-bound to help them heal.
Of course.
We charge pill mill operators who prescribe the necessary opioids. We dismantled networks of corrupt pharmacies that existed.
Well, you've got to keep in mind that, like, one of the reasons why they're prescribing a lot of this stuff is because these doctors get kickbacks. And as long as the doctors continue to get kickbacks and rewards for this problem is going to continue to grow and get worse. So if you really want to stop this problem, you have to cut off and you have to turn off the faucet. You have to look at, why does the system that we have create these outcomes? Because it's great that we're going to get these guys and hopefully they go to jail and hopefully they get punished. But that's not really like that is a victory for today, right? It's about winning the battle. I'd much rather win the war, is what I'm really trying to say. The problem is the policy that creates an apparatus for this to continue happening. Because it's not like this is going to stop happening tomorrow. Even if there's a high punishment for it, people will still do it.
It's solely to distribute drugs to addicts and minorities.
No,
feeding the addiction crisis that has devastated so many American communities. This is not healthcare. It is a staggering breach of trust.
Yep.
And under my leadership, the criminal division will prosecute these criminals as aggressively as we would anyone, because that's exactly what they are.
Treason. Do treason.
Fourth, many of the defendants charged as part of this takedown specifically targeted our most vulnerable citizens.
This is a very common thing, and people might not be aware of this. I learned about it from, I think, a Mark Rober video, is that a lot of scam callers, they know old people are retarded. And because of that, the first question they ask is, are you over 65 years old? And if they answer yes, then they continue to call. And if they answer no, they just hang up. Because they assume if somebody's like 59, well, they might know how computers work and this just isn't going to go anymore. That's it. It's sad as fuck. Exactly. And again, guys, we're getting back to basics with this. If you watch a lion chase down a pack of gazelles, you want to know the gazelles that get left behind? The ones that are over 65 years old comparatively. That's right. And the ones that are disabled. That's the reason. This is straight fucking nature.
Elderly Americans in nursing homes, individuals with disabilities, those battling serious illnesses, and more. For example, our prosecutors charged 7 defendants, including 5 medical professionals, in connection with approximately $1 billion in fraudulent claims to Medicare and other healthcare benefit programs for performing medically unnecessary skin grafts on dying patients as they were seeking to spend their final days with dignity and peace.
Post the names, get them out there, publicize the trials. I mean, for thousands of years, we have had public execution. I'm not saying that we should bring them back, but I'm saying publicizing people getting punished is a really great advertisement for not doing things wrong. You make crucifixions great again? Listen, I gave you my idea, okay? I think they should bring back crucifixions. And by the way, I'm completely not kidding. I think they should. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it should.
That conduct is exactly as callous and disturbing as it sounds.
Yeah.
Patients and their families trusted these providers with their lives. Instead of receiving care, they became victims of elaborate criminal schemes. Today's takedown marks a historic day. In addition to the tireless work of our Fraud Section's Healthcare Fraud Unit, this extraordinary effort would not have been possible without the law enforcement agencies with me here today. Health and Human Services, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Drug Enforcement Administration. And of course, countless partners across the federal, state, and local law enforcement community and dozens of the United States Attorney's offices. Yep. Thank you to all who made today possible. Now, despite these historic achievements, we aren't resting on our laurels. We're making advancements to stay ahead of their criminals and their illicit schemes. That is why today
See, this is the thing, is that a lot of the people that do this stuff, like, you're probably never really going to cut the head off. Because, like, the people that are really, really good at it will usually be able to get away. But the middlemen and the people that are, like, the real executors for this stuff, like the people that are actually performing the actions, those are the ones that you can keep getting over and over because they don't have the same level of, like, innovation and technological savvy in order to cover their tracks.
I'm also announcing that we are working with our partners at FBI, HHS OIG, and other federal agencies to create a healthcare data fusion center to revolutionize how we detect, investigate, and prosecute healthcare fraud. These efforts will be led by the Criminal Division, specifically the Fraud Section's Healthcare Fraud Unit, and comprised of data specialists and the unit's data analytics team. The Fusion Center will break down information silos using coordinated data analysis to enable our investigative teams to quickly identify and dismantle emerging fraud schemes.
Yeah, these guys are, like, the thing is, if you invest the energy and the time into this, you can solve this problem. The reason why this problem doesn't get solved is because, honestly, the main reason is just simply because the government doesn't really have the time or the energy or the funding to do it. They can, of course, solve this problem if they want.
Preventing money from going out the door. Today's enforcement action represents the largest healthcare fraud takedown in American history. But it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new era of aggressive prosecution and data-driven prevention.
Feels good. Feels really fucking good. And so now they have the time? Well, now they're probably getting different funding, and they're having their goals reallocated. I'm not sure exactly the reason why. It's hard really to say, but I think this is a great thing. I'm very happy about it, and I think everybody should be. I think it's great. And so hopefully it continues, right? I mean, I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. But right now, I'm very happy about it, 100% now. And but no arrests? No, they did make arrests. It says massive arrests. No, people did get arrested for this. It already happened.
I'm not sure if you guys know this. I have been good friends with this streamer called Emerald for quite a while. We have a shared almost 3 years of running a podcast together. He's actually the person who was a co-host of my podcast, The Noodle Shop, which then lasted for around a year, which then we pivoted into Steak and Eggs, which lasted around 2 years. Emmy is, unironically, she's one of the kindest, sweetest people I've ever met. Very easy to work with. A lot easier to talk to outside the podcast than during a podcast, because then she gets nervous and just sits there and calls me a retard. But I'll be real, like, yeah, I mean, if you can't tell by now, we're going to say code, but my old gimmick was I had to say as much dumb shit as I possibly could, obviously, because it's funny. You know, it makes it easier to talk to when they think, oh, this guy's dumb, let me correct this. Right? It's good content. You can say, oh, it's fine, I don't care. But I would intentionally say shit that was like very fucking stupid, and Emmy would always be like, call me a retard, just like great friends do. Apparently, people are now going after Emmy, which is, this is one of the reasons why Steak and Eggs now ceases to exist, due to the fact that, you know, I'm obviously a controversial figure, growing more and more controversial by the day, and thank you guys for that with all the new subscribers. It's been fucking insane. We are now a 1 million subscriber problem that the internet has to deal with. Isn't it fun? And Asmongold, as well, being one of the largest controversial figures in the streaming world, at least top 10. I think his hate's very overblown, to be completely honest. But Emmy would get in a lot of shit for merely being in relation to us, even though Emmy really hasn't done anything wrong pretty much in her entire streaming career. I think the most controversial moment that Emmy's ever done is her telling a retard to kill himself in League of Legends, which, I'll be real, if my League of Legends logs got leaked from 2012 to 2014, I'm pretty sure I would get sent to prison. And if you thought that was bad, if you were to ever leak my Xbox voice calls from high school, oh man, yeah, I would be in jail for sure. So apparently, Emmy's getting some heat right now. Let's see what's going on here. Let me be very fair and see what people are talking about, see what's going on.
I am here, Sensitive Society, aka Sense, aka Roster, aka Sensitive Society here, reporting back, welcome back to the small. Before we get into it though, you guys know the same.
Okay, that is absolutely diabolical, bro. Okay, that's gonna be infamous. You know, we've already talked about the Ludwig situation ad nauseum. Let's keep going.
Numbers up, Ludwig style. Come on, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Gotta hit 600K before the end of the year today. As I will.
Yeah, I think it's absolute travesty that Sense Society doesn't have 600,000 subs. Oscar's a great guy, very good channel, very good guy, and I do really hope that you support this channel. Amazing dude, bro. He deserves y'all subs. If you haven't subbed, I really appreciate y'all support.
Some food. I pull out my phone, go through it, and I see this tweet by one, the only that kindly talk about Emily. Now, this guy said Emily is a pretty good Twitch streamer.
By the way, if you guys don't know Yeet, he's a guy who's like the new LSF on Twitter. By the way, we're going to be having Yeet on stream in about 2 weeks' time when he starts streaming himself. We have a lot to talk about. It's going to be awesome.
She's also known for her cosplays, but she decided to put her opinion out there. She rarely gets into drama, talking about the whole H3 Trojan Daniels.
It's very dangerous whenever Emmy is allowed to speak and give her opinion, which is why I would always cut her off and never let her talk, because I was protecting her, guys. Yeah, I knew the internet would rip her apart. That's why I interrupted everything she ever fucking said. And because she's a woman and I don't respect her.
So, you want to check her notes? The Casey clan. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. She's just so irrelevant. I just forgot about her. This is Emily talking about the whole situation and just putting her opinions out there. And the way Redditors and Twitter users responded to this is honestly disgusting. The fallout that this 1 minute clip played was insane. I mean, it did go pretty viral, like 4 million views.
It's a little scary because I saw some people are getting sued for reactions, but I mean, it's like a different case than what I do, I guess. So, surely it's different. People that like maliciously react, like they react to people that kind of like, watch me so that you don't get any views. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Is she wrong? Is she stupid?
Yeah, if you are making it your entire purpose to siphon views from a video premeditatedly to further your own economic and political agenda, as well as line your pockets, and you are retarded enough to state that out loud, giving people probable cause and admitting to committing a crime, yeah, you deserve to get sued for that. You're actively trying to destroy someone else's channel maliciously, as well as admitting to that lie. Yes, you deserve to get sued, absolutely.
Speaking facts?
That was controversial. Well, it was the retards. And guys, do you know who's on the internet?
Shit, this is like 30 Kirby's right here. Of course, it's talking about. It's much more than 30 Kirby's. I've seen that pile. It's like fucking 200, bro. People like Frogan and company. And there's nothing wrong with this tape. As a matter of fact, it is valid. People can't react. That's never been the issue. It's how you react to it. I've done react content. There's times where I want to watch a video and I'm like, well, I can either watch it by myself or cry myself to bed every single night. Or I can watch it with my amigos or amigas and I'm like, oh, let's just do that instead, you know what I mean? But I think my reactions, you haven't seen that pile? Brother, I hope to ever move into that house for like 3 fucking days. It's insane. The amount of garbage one little person can bring into a house is nuts. The amount of useless garbage she has is out of fucking control, bro. I'm not here to be nice, but I think my reactions are pretty solid, right? I don't think I'm stealing like 6 minutes of the video and I'm taking a fucking piss break. Don't call them garbage. I'm sorry. They're great. I love Kirby Airline. I'll play the new one. My bad, guys. I'm taking a pun break. It's like whenever I react to a video, I always credit them and I always try to add more like shit. You know what I mean? She's right. And the hate and massive backlash she got, I normally don't want none, but this time, I mean, you're not white knighting because you're coming to the defense of someone who's being wrong. The only time you're white knighting is defense due to the fact that you're a simp for someone. And generally, a white knight is someone who defends him who's already.
What kind of fucking pipe is that?
Eddie was just fucked by the internet. Correcting misinformation, having the back, you're not a simp. You're good. It'll be the biggest one you've ever seen. I know there's people out there who are defending Hassan and company. I will defend you. No, but this is dangerous, guys, because Ethan is rich and he's suing people. Yeah, he's suing shitty people that deserve it. It's that simple. You can't twist on food. Absolutely, right? These people deserve it. I want to hone in on that whole white knighting stuff thing. Because this is how the internet gets you to feel bad for correcting misinformation. Guys, how many of you guys have ever been called a dick rider because one of your favorite streamers was being slandered and you said, actually, they didn't do that at all. I've been watching this for 3 years. They never said that, they never did that. Okay, dick rider, this is how people get you to buy in to their augmented sense of reality by calling you a dick rider. It's the same thing as how bullies in school would get you to not tell the principal or the proper authorities by calling you a snitch. This is new age snitching. If you correct misinformation on someone right now, you're a dick rider. How's that dick rider? Yeah, and this is how they get you to not want to do what's wrong. All right, guys, I'll be real. I suck all my friends' dicks. Yep, I ride all their dicks. That shit tastes delicious. You do backflips on this shit. I don't care. When somebody calls you a dick rider, go, true. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LC sign is cheap. Video and not add anything to it. What are you expecting? Do you actually think you're that Frogan and company deserve to get sued and hopefully this teaches them a lesson? I don't know. Is that a hot take? How is that controversial?
That's not good. Just admit to crimes on stream. I never admitted to any crime on stream because I don't commit crimes.
I don't know, guys. I think it's a pretty. I don't know what it is about Emily. When she talks on stream, she loses like 90 people. I don't know what it is. I just don't know. When Alvin goes live and he streams 2 times, he gains like this immense growth. Because like Zach offline is like a lot more like to himself, like quiet. You know what I mean? And like a lot more like sly. And then when Alvin goes live, he like becomes like this amalgamation. You know, like this fucking monster. You know, this let me tell him how it is. You know, he goes big dick. He goes big dick on stream. Everyone she goes live is like, I don't know, guys. I just really like Kirby. Like, what is happening? I think I'm pretty much the exact same guy on and off stream. Well, that's not true. You guys are seeing my IRL thing. I'm a little bit softer. Balanced take, a really fair take. How am I supposed to and Reddit took it the right way, and nothing bad happened to it, and everyone lived happily ever after. What I didn't know is a scientist.
Hello, Serena.
Lights. Oh, this person doesn't.
I'll put up my plate. I don't know how I'm supposed to get that. What do I need? Feather? I can do. I don't want to go too far away, so I forget where it is. But I need a. I need the feathers. Do you have Mario Kart, this new one? Or hit. Oh, does this one give me flying? Yes. Swag. That was good. There's one up there. I don't know how to get up. No. I don't know how long this goes for. Ooh. I'm good. How are you? This race is long. No, I'm on console. It's the new Switch too. Legend himself. Damn. What a name. So I need 2 more peach coins. Get the Switch 2, okay? Actually, I like streaming World of Warcraft. Whoa. Well, that's far. No, I don't want to see your artwork. Unless you just got like a link to it. Like on like a web link. Oh, there we go, there's one. Skirt. Where's he gonna put me back? Ooh, there's one. How do I get up to that? How do I get up to that? Oh, you do have a link to it. Let's see here. Let's see what I can do. Watch this. I'm a pro streamer. You ready? Oh, boom. Got your shit up. Excuse me. That's you? In this picture? Yeah, let me get one for free. Definitely a fucking bot, bro. Nah. Probably, but I'm not gonna buy his shit either, so. What the hell is that, man? Oh, it's a peanut. Oh gosh. This is the same thing. Oh, you guys beefing? Oh yeah, like you got like a script to sell your art? You bought? Is everybody a bot? It's really like dead internet theory. I think we just need one more piece. Definitely bot activities. Botted stream. Yeah. I paid for that artist to be here. I'm gonna do it again too. Do you have Mario Kart World, bro? Target? Whoa. Target for what? Okay, I get it. This is cool. Oh. Oh. Where's you taking me? Bro, I stream World of Warcraft too, so hit me with a follow, bro, and come back sometime. That'd be sick. I'm trying to get some viewers. Bro, this is the hardest guy to hit ever. Okay. I don't know what I got out of that, but. Okay, there's one. Ooh. You hit this wire. Okay. Let's go. I think that's all I needed. 10, 10, 10. Okay. Alright, well, I think I've streamed enough today. I'm gonna get off and stretch.